Hey everybody, welcome to Movie Mavens, a podcast where we watch and review two movies that are related in some way. We call it a spicy double feature.
The films can be related through director, actor, plot, setting, or even title. I'm one of your hosts, Annie Janes.
And I'm Carsen Green. And this week's spicy double feature is none other than Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Mission Impossible Fallout. Thank you so much for putting what those movies are called. I just honestly have been calling them MI6 and MI7.
Yes. I mean, that is appropriate too. And that's the connection. All right. They're both Mission Impossible movies, one after the other. I have nothing more to say.
Before we get into the spicy dub, we have a very special guest to introduce. Joining us today from 24 Minutes of A24 is Ethan Simmie. Welcome, Ethan.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me on the pod. I'm very excited that I was called upon to represent Mission Impossible because I feel like that's a heavy burden to bear and a big cross on my back, but I'm ready to take on the mission. Honestly, I'm ready to accept.
You have been also rewatching them all, and have you been recapping them?
Watching them for the first time, actually. I had only ever seen Mission Impossible 1.
I love that. I love that you're here right now.
It has been so much fun. Ben, my co-host, and I over at 24 Minutes of A24, we only cover A24 projects that are like distributed by A24, but we were both very excited for Mission Impossible. I had never seen the franchise. Ben loves the franchise. We were like, how can we talk about Mission Impossible without starting a totally separate podcast feed? So we actually made a Patreon and we were like, okay, let's spice it up a little bit and we'll talk about Mission Impossible in 24 minutes, literally like what our title of our pod is. So yeah, we went through the entire franchise, including the new one. We went over our time limit sometimes, which means we had some hot sauce on the next episode, which is really fun. But Mission Impossible rocks. And like, I know we're not quite talking about it yet, but I think it's not too early to say it's like my comfort franchise. And I love it so dearly.
The first one I saw in theaters was the sixth one. So that was like my first time watching all of them for the sixth one. So I joined only like in 2018. But my friends and I started like in the winter watching them.
Oh, yeah.
And would watch like one a month. So we've slowly been getting through them. And then we all got to go see it. It was the movie event of just the week because next week is Barbie and Oppenheimer. I'm so stoked to chat about Mission Impossible, but before we dive deeply into that, let's talk about some stuff that we've been watching. Carsen, you want to go first?
Yes, I would love to kick it off. I went to go see Joyride in the theater. I started to watch Coraline also, but I forgot that I went to go see Jaws in 35mm. And I saw it on July 3rd. And this is notoriously a 4th of July movie. And I saw it in a theater with just like a bunch of stands and people who had like seen the movie 1,000 times, and everyone was laughing and gasping and clapping and just like playing along. And I love being in audiences that are interacting with the movie and that are having a good time and like genuinely enjoying themselves. And you don't always find that on first watch. Like if you're going to a theater to see a new movie, like people don't always respond to it. But I find that if you're going to see an older movie, people like that movie. People are choosing to go and see it. People want to be there. And I really cherish that experience. I love it. And also, I don't think I had seen Jaws like completely all the way through. Like I think I had just seen it on TV, like bits and pieces of it over the years.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what did you think? I'm so curious.
Like genuinely very spooky. It was like two different movies. Like it was a beach town movie and then it was an out to sea movie. And I went to go see it with my boyfriend and he was like, let's look for oneers. He was like, apparently there's some hidden oneers here. And so we were on the lookout the whole time for oneers. And there were some just like really iconic shots. And
yeah,
it was genuinely like a very good experience. If you ever see it playing in a theater, I highly recommend you should go see it.
Very cool. I don't think I've seen that movie since I was probably in like late middle school or early high school. Probably high school.
I also, like I said, I went to see Joyride, which just came out. It's about this group of friends who go to China to, one of them is an attorney, and she's going on a business trip, and then she like goes to try and find her birth mom, and then debauchery ensues. And it's about these four friends who, it kind of is giving like The Hangover a little bit. But it's over the course of, I don't know, 5 or 6 or like a couple of days or a couple of weeks maybe. And they end up in Korea. And like at one point there's this whole musical number where they're doing like a K-pop performance. It's honestly like there was a lot of really big laughs in like the second part of the movie, but the first part was almost painful.
Wow.
Because it had like a lot of like it was the whole cast is, I mean, the cast is 4 Asian people, 3 Asian women, and I think 1 Asian non-binary person. And it was just like the script had a lot of internalized racism and also like internalized misogyny, and like right away they were pitting women against each other, and they were kind of like I would say more like exploring what it's like to be an Asian American, and that just inherently comes with some internalized racism, I am guessing, just based on the script. But it was like a difficult watch in the beginning. I was like, ugh.
In the trailer, there's a scene that I think is like at the very beginning of the movie where these 2 best friends meet on a playground, and they're both Asian, and this kid comes up to them and says like some Asian racial slur, like you guys aren't allowed on the slide. And then I think the kid says like fuck you, and then punches him in the face. So it also is like saying fuck you to racism, like saying the loud, like just shutting it down at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely an exploration in what it means to be Asian American, and how these women, these people in the movie are carrying that identity. But I had a hard time getting on board with it in the first half of the movie. By the end of it, I was rooting for everyone, and like the theater was really fun. There was a lot of laughs. It's an okay movie. Can't hard recommend it, but I would say maybe like a weeknight streaming movie type deal.
Right on.
I'm glad I didn't see that in theaters then. I was anticipating, or like I was planning to go, and then I wasn't able to. So that's encouraging to hear. not to rag on the cinematic experience, but come on.
Yeah.
Save your coin.
Yeah.
Ethan, what have you been watching?
Not recently, but briefly piggybacking on your Jaws experience, I was able to see Boogie Nights in 70mm probably like 6 weeks ago or so. And I think that is kind of like making the rounds. I believe that it's supposed to be at the Lincoln Film Center in a couple of weeks, and making its way across the country. It was just phenomenal. It was like the 10th time that I'd seen that movie, and seeing you, I mean, you're totally right, Carsen. Like seeing a movie like that with a crowd that's super invested, like everybody there was there to see Boogie Nights. They wanted to be there. They loved the movie. That was incredible. I watched The Intern the other night. This is a Nancy Meyers movie from 2015, I believe, with Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. And basically, Anne Hathaway is the CEO of a fashion company, and they do a senior citizen internship program. Hence, Robert De Niro comes to be her intern.
It's like The Devil Wears Prada,
yes.
But Anne Hathaway is Meryl Streep, and Robert De Niro is Anne Hathaway.
Yes. So it was great. My family was out of town for the night, and I had been wanting to watch The Intern for quite a while, just because like I just wanted some laughs. And I don't know if I was just like in the right headspace, or if it was just like something was perfect. Like the stars aligned, and I was like, The Intern's a 5-star movie. Like, this is incredible. I had a blast watching that movie, and it made me feel so warm inside, and I thought it was the funniest thing. And like quite honestly, I just like want to watch it again. It feels like a comfort movie already. So I can recommend The Intern if you're looking for like a good laugh. It is just over 2 hours, which is a little straining, to be honest, but I had a good time nonetheless. And then I also wanted to quickly talk about, I've been doing some more film history kind of in prep for Barbie and just trying to kind of fill out my Letterboxd watch list. So I watched Brief Encounter and I also watched The Red Shoes last week as well. I liked Brief Encounter more than The Red Shoes, but both very iconic old films. And Brief Encounter pretty much wrecked me like on the spot. And I think it is just gorgeous and a wonderful film. So if you're looking for like some older movies to watch, those are some pretty hard recommends.
What is like the bit about them that makes them famous, do you think? Other than them just being good? Like, or is that just it?
I mean, I think that's part of it. I think in terms of like Brief Encounter, it's definitely one of the first like really well done missed connections kind of movies.
Okay.
So, if you're
we just did that episode, Past Lives and Your Name, Missed Connections.
I love it. Yeah. So it's very in the same vein of like Past Lives. And it's, it's old timey. It's really kind of a snapshot of the 40s and what it was like to make a movie back then. And I think the score is soaring, and it's just really, it's written differently than a movie today is, right? So I think there's something special there. And then The Red Shoes, again, is just kind of an encapsulation of like the time. And I think the reason The Red Shoes stands out is because it is thematically like this story of like passion versus love. Like, do you follow what you want to do in life? Do you dance, or do you fall in love with a person or a man? And that's always very intriguing, but it's like pretty unapologetically like soundstagey. Basically the whole movie is like, we're just dancing on a soundstage, and that doesn't sound super interesting or exciting, but it is absolutely riveting and really, really, just beautiful to watch. So, I think they're very, famous for different reasons, but they're very good recommends. I think you can stream both of them on Max right now.
Did you watch The Red Shoes because of your love of La La Land?
Well, so I actually watched it because Barbie is coming out, and that's like one of the movies that Greta Gerwig has said is like a staple of how she kind of formed Barbie. And I watched The Red Shoes, and I know specifically if people have seen it, they'll know it's not spoiling anything. There is a shot where the main character actress is kind of looking up at this massive staircase leading to this gorgeous home. And that's basically a shot for shot, like in Barbie. It's even in the trailer. Barbie kind of opens the gates, and there's this massive set of stairs up to somewhere on top of the mountain. So I just wanted to be a little bit more like, oh, cool. Like Greta was thinking about this when she made Barbie. Like, that's really fun and interesting. So that way I can personally like deviate myself between like Barbie is so sick versus like, wow, Barbie really does pull on a lot of cinematic history and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. But your cousin that saw it's going to be like, like it was boring, and you're like, but the red
shoes. I know, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I finally dragged myself out to the theater to see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
I'm dying to hear.
What did you think?
Give it to us.
Wait,
I thought.
Can you tell me what you think of the other ones first? Because I don't know what you think of the other ones. I'm a very firm Last Crusader over here.
Oh, nice. Okay, so, I love the Indiana Jones movies. I think the first one's my favorite, and then the third one is followed by that. But it is amazing. But when the first one does it first, that gives it something. It gives it something. It's like they thought of this whole thing. And then Temple of Doom and Crystal Skull, which I haven't seen since the theater. And it was like I didn't rewatch these over and over and over again, but I've probably seen the trilogy like 4 times throughout my life. So not that much compared to like Jurassic Park or something. So by the time I saw this, there was so much buzz about it online, good or bad. And I thought that like it honestly wasn't bad. If it wasn't an Indiana Jones movie, I think it would be like somehow better. It would have just been like some fun one-off movie. If it was animated, it would have been way better, and it would have been Tintin, because that movie fucking rules. But it's not either of those things. It's an Indiana Jones movie, and it's a mess. But it concludes the character better than Crystal Skull did. So it's like, maybe it's good that it exists. The CG like was really bothering me. It was really distracting me. And after seeing Indiana Jones and then the next day seeing Mission Impossible, first of all, there's a scene that's identical, and I'll talk about that when we get to the Mission Impossible. The second of all, it's like, oh, this is what real life looks like. I forgot, because Indiana Jones felt like it was shot like in the volume. It was like not quite like Ant-Man and the Wasp, because things are real. They're modeled after real places, but it was like so full of CGI.
Huh.
Yeah.
And that was killing me.
I liked the de-aging. I thought it was actually okay. But that's a really hot take. People are very against de-aging right now.
All the reviews I was listening to said that the de-aging on Harrison Ford was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. It was.
Yeah.
But like, there's something about it that feels like hands have touched it too much.
Sure.
Like, where they're like, let me just get in there and like make the perfect little crinkle. And it's like, wait, faces don't move that perfectly unless it's in a video game. Like, it feels a little bit like a video game. But considering it's like the first, how long are we in this de-aging moment? I don't know. It's a long part of the film, and it wasn't like, it didn't ruin that whole section at all.
Who would you say is the demographic for this movie? Because I think you two are the only people that I know that have seen it.
Oh, interesting.
I would say it's like film fans that fall into the same category as like, and I love Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And I love Star Wars. And like,
yeah.
The IP of yore, like, that's us.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I actually quite liked the the third act. I won't spoil anything if people haven't seen it. Annie, you probably have an idea of what I'm speaking of, and what
I like that it went there.
Yeah, I like that it went there.
That didn't bother me.
I think it took a good swing and was a great send off, and did some really nice nods to prior Indiana Jones. But did it need to be made? No. Did it lose a bunch of money at the box office? Absolutely. So I don't know what that means.
But here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. I did like Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I like her. She's not canceled or anything, is she?
I think she's good. She's like,
I think she's good too.
I learned, wait, Carsen, did you tell me on a podcast a couple of weeks ago who she's dating now?
I was just going to ask you that.
Who
is
I
she
remember
dating?
being pretty shocked when I heard this, and I was like, wow. Oh, it's a writer, I believe. And because I remember someone in our circle was like, wow, the banter must be immaculate.
Martin McDonough.
Martin McDonough, yes. That's
the director
crazy,
of Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And they're both like UK heads. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
UK heads just being there from there. Really into it. Okay, so I also finally I'm gonna move on from Indiana Jones. It was I think watch it from home streaming. I finally watched Beef. I had watched like the first couple episodes, and it's kind of intense, but it's really good. I fell off, and then all that bad press came out, and What's His Face was canceled. Yep. And then I was like, well, I don't really want to return to that right now. And I waited however long it's been since it came out, and I just now like kind of breezed through the last 8 or whatever episodes that I had left. And you covered that this is an A24, right, Ethan?
This is an A24 production, and if people are interested, I did get to interview the composer of the score over on our podcast, 24 Minutes of A24. So little insight into Beef. Yeah.
Yeah, that lined up just perfectly. Me finishing the show late for you. For you to plug that.
Exactly. Thank you.
Oh my God, I loved it. I don't know your thoughts. I haven't listened to that episode because I like to wait until I've seen things.
Sure.
But I loved it. I don't know. I thought it was like perfect. It was swinging for the fences. It just like was being really bold in where the story goes and the tone. It wasn't afraid to make the tone like intense to wacky moment to moment, which I adore. And Steven Yeun was really good at acting, and it made me feel uncomfortable. It made me feel all the things. I thought it was just like perfect.
Nice.
What did you think, Ethan?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it quite substantially. I do think it's like one of the better things that that A24 has been able to produce and put their logo on. Obviously, right now with the WGA strike and SAG-AFTRA strike, we hope that Netflix can see the value in shows like Beef, because it is truly great and it was a big moment in time. And I think
that's true.
I think Netflix in particular allows something special with most of their original shows to be a little more unhinged and a little more off the wheels. And I think that worked very well for Beef. And I loved the final episode.
I'm going to be thinking about it for a very long time.
I was talking to someone at work the other day, and they asked me, have you seen Beef? And I was like, oh yeah, I just finished season 2 last week. I was like, I loved the cousin's arc. I loved his story. And she was like, are you talking about Chef? And I was like, oh.
Ooh.
Wait.
Yeah, I am talking about Chef.
Did you ever figure out that it was the bear you were talking about?
Oh my God.
Ethan and I both thought you had already figured it out.
That was good.
And we were both silently waiting for you.
That was really funny.
Okay.
I was like, wait, Chef the movie? Hold on. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm halfway through season 2 of The Bear, so no spoilers.
I haven't even started it because, as I said, I just finished Beef. I'm so far behind.
I don't know how you like go back and do things. I feel like if I start something and then I stop it halfway through, I'm never finishing.
Oh yeah, you're done.
It's out. I'm never going to think about it again. Someone's going to bring it up and I'm going to be like, oh, I think I watched like a handful of the episodes of that.
No, I just am like, oh my God, I love something. This is going to be so freaking good. And I can smell it. And then I'm going to put that down because several reasons. One, I want to be like fully in the zone to watch a thing like that. Like I want to get every little moment. And oftentimes when I go to watch TV, I'm already like mentally exhausted. So it's like, I want to be there for the film.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, I don't want, like, it's like, I don't want it to end or something. It's like, I just always want to have something that's going to be perfect to watch. 3, I forget and I put it down and there's something else that distracts me. And I'm pretty good at like not starting new shows when I'm on a show, but every now and then it's like, you just pick up one too many.
Here's the thing with me right now, and not to like derail the conversation, but
no worries.
Obviously, I watch a lot of movies and I try to watch a lot of TV shows and talk about them and write about them. And then every summer, my wife, basically coerces me into watching Love Island UK. And then I spend literally 65 hours of my life watching Love Island UK. And that's what I'm doing right now. So that's why I'm only halfway through The Bears, because I only watch one episode like every month, because every single night I'm just watching Love Island instead of movies and TV shows. So, I feel you. Other things come up. It happens.
Is there that many episodes? Or are you guys like rewatching them?
No, it's unhinged. It's unbelievably ridiculous how many episodes there are for Love Island. And we even skip. They do like bonus episodes. They're like behind the scenes or like extra or like whatever. We skip all of those and it's still like literally 60 episodes. And we were like 20 or like 18 in, and she was like, I know you got a lot of movies to watch this week. Like, I'm just going to carry on with Love Island. And I was like, excuse me, like fuck you are like I'm this invested. Are you kidding me? So anyway, yeah, my little work is getting done at work, and because I have to make up for Love Island.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I literally will be like, let's watch an old season of Survivor.
Nice.
Let me just show you what it's like. And it's like, now we have to watch a lot of seasons of Survivor. Yeah. And now I don't want to watch anything hard. I just want to watch Survivor.
All the time. Yeah.
Well, Coraline has been trending on TikTok for so long. And I have watched so many like people talking in depth about like very specific scenes and very specific shots from Coraline. And I haven't seen the movie in years, but it keeps coming up on my For You page. And so finally I was like, I'm going to watch this movie. And I put it on and I really want to finish it, but I fell asleep. I took a nap. That's why I didn't finish it today, but I'm going to. I'm going to finish it after
You're determined.
I am.
That movie is amazing.
I got to see
so far so good.
I got to see all the props and everything at the at Mopop in Seattle. My girls are pretty obsessed with Coraline and Leica Studios. Aww. It was incredible. So yeah, Coraline's pretty sick.
That's wild. Also, the studio Leica that makes those movies is based out of Portland.
Yeah, and it is also basically bankrolled by Phil Knight, which Air, great movie. Great, bring it full circle here.
Oh,
but yes, Leica is based out of Portland. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're like, their movies probably don't turn a profit.
I don't know if any of them have, to be honest. To be honest with you, but they're beautiful films.
It's art. Yeah. That's what's amazing about it. Dude, that Coraline is scary. Do you think so? Did you think so in the half you saw, Carsen?
Yeah, it's freaky. Hello, I'm your other mother down a dark dungeon hallway. Like, I remember watching it when it came out. I was maybe a teenager, like 13, 14, and just being like, what is this? And I think I've watched it one time since then, but I keep the thing that is going. I don't know. Somebody involved in the movie came out and did an interview recently, like within the last year, and said that every single shot, every single frame in Coraline, like there is Easter eggs hidden in it, and every single frame meant something to the story. So I've been watching like hella deep dives frame by frame, like people kind of just dissecting the movie and trying to figure out what frames reference each other and what story is being told subliminally.
Wow.
It's really interesting.
That's cool.
I believe that because it's stop motion animation, you physically have to put everything in the space. And make it. So everything is already intentional. So it's we need set deck. It's it might as well have a meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'll definitely finish it. Let's move on to our double feature.
You had a terrible choice to make in Berlin. One life over millions. And now the world is at risk.
This is the CIA's mission. If he had held on to the plutonium, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
His team would be dead.
Yes, they would. That's the job.
Okay, from here on out, we're going to spoil Mission Impossible 6, and we're going to try to not spoil 7 without giving you a warning when we want to start talking about it.
Annie, will you please hit me with some facts?
Mission Impossible 6 came out in 2018. It was written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie, starring Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Henry Cavill, Angela Bassett, Alec Baldwin, Sean Harris, and Michelle Monaghan. This is the description from IMDb. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team, along with some familiar allies, race against time after a mission gone wrong. That's every movie. That's every Mission Impossible movie. It has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What's the runtime on this?
2 hours and 27 minutes.
Damn.
It's long.
Ethan, I know you're our guest, but I'd love to hear your thoughts first.
Here's the thing with Fallout for me, and this might come off as a little bit of a hot take, but I like Fallout. I don't love Fallout. I think Fallout is where Macquarie and the franchise basically said like, we can make this into something truly outside of the box and something truly new. And that's really exciting. But like, we're also flying helicopters for like 35 minutes. And like, I truthfully got a little tired of like, you know, let's keep doing other cool like Ethan Hunt things. But I really like Fallout as a whole. It introduces some really fun characters. Sean Harris is back. We kind of get like a continued story from 5 from the previous installment, and it has for me the best Mission Impossible scene of the entire franchise. And I literally last night I watched 65, which is on Netflix right now, and it is just abhorrent. It is a terrible film. It is very, very bad and boring. And
is that the Adam Driver movie?
Yes, and I feel so sad that happened to Adam Driver's filmography. But I did not like it. It was just not very fun. It was very, very boring, and it had cool elements that could have made it good. But I watched this movie and I was like, gosh, that was so bad. You know what I need to do? I need to watch my favorite scene in Mission Impossible Fallout again to cleanse my cinema palate. And that's what I did. And, you know, in the spirit of full spoilers, it's like 15 minutes into the movie where they're interrogating the guy that thinks his bomb destroyed all of the religious cities around the world. And then they drop the fucking walls. And I lost my mind the first time I saw that. And I was like, that's the sickest moment maybe ever. Like, Ethan Hunt loses his cool. You think they lost. You think that we're literally about to spend 2 hours trying to climb our way back up from all of this crazy stuff that happens. And then you go MI1 style and you drop the walls. And it was so sick. It was awesome. I really like this movie. I won't say, I don't want to say too much more because I want you guys to
is amazing. And I love that the
well.
scene that you think is the best in all the franchise is not actually a set piece. That's crazy. Like one of the famous, none of the stunts. But it is classic.
Not one of the stunts. No. Right, it is classic Mission Impossible, and I think Fallout is when it truly, and of course we'll talk when we get to Dead Reckoning, but because that very much does kind of the same thing, but like starts to become very self-aware of like, oh, we can reference ourselves. We can go back, and we can go back into MI1 and MI2 specifically in the final act of Fallout, and like we can try to like recreate some of this stuff to be even bigger and even crazier. And I think that they truly accomplished that in this. And I'm also a sucker for like a really good, you know, mask reveal and like a really good, like Ethan Hunt fucking did it kind of moment. And that's just the moment for me, which again, like might be a hot take that I don't think any of the stunts are like the best in the franchise. But, you know, like I said, I love this franchise. That's just like the one thing for me Fallout really stands above the rest in is that moment.
This was my very first watch. I've never seen any of the Mission Impossible movies. This I watched MI6. I haven't seen any of the rest of them. I am not much of an action movie kind of person, but I tried to keep an open mind. And even that moment with the wall drop, I did appreciate that moment. That was fun. Nice. But at that point, like it felt like from that point forward, like we kind of, I don't know, I feel like both of the movies that we watched got a little lost in their own plot, and we didn't quite dig out of it, but we spent so much time doing all these stunts, and I realized that that's just a consequence of like what an action movie is like, yes, we're looking for the action, and I think also like I didn't know the characters really, and so like Ethan Hunt's whole like we'll figure it out thing, I was like, this like, can we just have a plan?
But that's like, that's his signature. That's what makes him so cool.
In 7, there's a line that's like, she's like, can I please know more about this? And Simon Pegg's like, it's best you don't, or it's like, we get lost in the details of it all. Like it's like, don't think, just run. Just run as fast as you can, Tom Cruise.
Also, there was so many lens flares. I'm gonna mention something else that was really distracting for me in the 7th one, but the lens flares were really distracting for me. Overall, though, like it's a fun movie. It's fine. I really liked when Henry Cavill turned on his arms.
Yes, he reloaded his arms.
Cocked his arms.
Like that scene, him just being hot is honestly a gift to us.
I love that scene.
Yeah.
It is so well done, and like every hit is so loud.
Yes.
When he smacks the guy with the computer, you instantly are like, that's the fucking face computer, dude. Like, and he would. And it just goes from bad to worse all the time. I love it.
I think that scene is really special too, because it's kind of the first time in the franchise where we get like a true antithesis to Ethan Hunt of like, not in terms of like a villain, but in terms of like someone that operates in a completely different way than he does, that is also working for the IMF. And like, we get the whole thing with John Lark and Angela Bassett's character. And like, we do get very lost in all of these double agents and triple agents and like people flipping and stuff, which I think has its moments of fun. But I do think Henry Cavill's a wonderful addition to this because it proves, and I know, Carsen, this goes kind of against what you were just saying, but like it proves how special Ethan Hunt is and like why he's been around the IMF for so long and why he is trusted, even though he's gone rogue in the past, to continue to carry out what needs to be done. But yeah, Henry Cavill looking mad ripped in this movie. Unbelievable.
I just love that Ethan Hunt like knows what to do and knows how to do it.
I'm curious, who is Ethan Hunt's allegiance to?
Nobody. Himself.
I think he's like the greater good. It's like he would be allegiant to IMF, but then in like the third one or the fourth one, he goes rogue. And it's like he literally will choose to do what is right when his government agency is asking him to do what's not right. There's some moment in 7 where he like chooses like someone else's life over his own sort of thing, like the greater or someone else to live trolley question. And that is just Ethan Hunt. I think that explains who he's allegiant to.
Yeah, I was curious. Does he have a thing about killing people?
No.
I don't think so.
Not like Batman. Does Batman kill people?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he does.
Oh, but Ethan Hunt does. I mean, I know like he will like kill obvious bad guys, but I like, did he carry a gun in the 6th one?
No, I think it just,
there was a lot of like hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah. I think he primarily goes hand to hand. I think, you know, the key like mover of the movies is the tech, which I think is like far more tech. I don't think it's like weaponry that's really, which I think makes Mission Impossible interesting. I think it makes it stand out. Like, it's not just like, oh, like what's the next sick gun that he's going to have where he can just like blow somebody up. It's like, oh, cool. He's going to use this very particular, and this isn't one of the movies we're talking about, but this very particular device that the IMF has made where you can change the hotel number on a room. It's like, oh, cool. That's a whole thing that they made just for that one task, which is
because they have crazy missions and they need to have every kind of tool.
Everything.
That's a good example of one of the tools. It's like, okay, there's Get Smart, which is like have you seen Get Smart, Carsen? Any of it, like the Steve Carell one?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like all gadgets, minimal action.
Yeah.
Goofy. Then there's Mission Impossible, which is like gadgets, combat, but not gun combat.
Yeah. You know, it was kind of giving Go-Go Gadget a little bit for me.
Yeah. And then there's 007, which is like less goofs, and I don't personally have fun watching Daniel Craig like walk through hallways with a pistol, but that's like what James Bond kind of is. And then there's John Wick, which is like gung fu, where it's just like all guns, that's the point. So Mission Impossible like sits right in the sweet spot for me, where it's like good hand-to-hand combat, not a lot of guns, and gadgets that are like out of this world, but also very cool.
Agreed.
The mess of it all that you guys are kind of referring to, I think is sort of a result of Christopher McQuarrie's like filmmaking philosophy, which is like let's come up with the most wild stunt that we haven't done yet, and then build a story around it. Not only that, but they kind of make the movie on the fly. So like, to me, when Ving Rhames like has a mission to go to on his own at the end of Mission Impossible 7 that felt very shoehorned in. He's like, I have a hard drive, goodbye. I think that happened because they shot the train sequence so early in production, and the production got stalled 5 times because of COVID. And he just happened to not be in that train scene when they shot it. So they had to come up with somewhere for Ving Rhames to leave. Like, and that's why that happened. Like, that whole film feels like this, where it's just like built around set pieces.
Yeah.
But honestly, the fact that he does that is amazing to me. I can't imagine being like, will this work? And being like, yeah, it'll work. And just figuring that out on the paper and just hoping for the best.
I mean, I think you're definitely right. I think there's like this continued pressure with every installment, of course, as is the case with like most IP franchises, when you get to 7 and 8 and 10 and other things that are kind of ridiculous, that like babies shouldn't exist, is like, what's the draw? Like, how are we going to do this? And I think that is something that I appreciate about 6 and 7, especially 6 is like at the very end, we do see that Julia is at the camp and like we reunite. I know, Carsen, probably doesn't connect to you since you haven't seen any of the other ones, but like that's a big deal because in MI4, like we get barely a glimpse of her, and like we know that her, like Ethan Hunt's wife is safe, and this is kind of why he does this. And then they get reunited at the end, which did feel kind of like this, ability to close what Mission Impossible was, and like, wow, we did it. Helicopters and Henry Cavill and all of these crazy things. But this entire like John Lark storyline with Alec Baldwin and like having this more like kind of political thriller nature to it, I think is really fun in theory. And then it gets really convoluted when you try to follow 2 main characters that have separate allegiances that are like the IMF in quotes, but not. And then they're like double crossing each other. And that's where you try to like do the Bond route, but also do the Mission Impossible route, and things get a little bit out of whack. But then again, like, why are they still making Fast and Furious movies? It's because people are like, these are fun, and like I like the stories and whatever. And I think Mission Impossible still has some of that where you can be like, yeah, maybe it doesn't really work, but like this was cool, and so,
I will say, I think that the plot in Fallout is like, one, I respect this movie for being like, keep up, and if you don't, you don't. You gotta keep up. And like the scene where they're like underground and Benji puts on the Sean Harris mask,
incredible,
whatever that guy's name was.
Yeah.
And they think that they've all split up, but Alec Baldwin's like, I got you, you son of a bitch. And they like pull a fast one on him, on Henry Cavill to catch him. Angela Bassett's on FaceTime. That, like, if you hadn't been keeping up, you would have been like, what during that whole scene. And so it asks something more of the audience than like a Fast and Furious type. And in Fallout, it's a success. I would say in Dead Reckoning, it's like, there's no keeping up. It's how it felt to me. Well, I'll get into that, but
interesting. I think Benji's really funny in Fallout as well. Like specifically, I kind of wrote down the moment where Ethan Hunt is like running, and we're trying to catch up with Henry Cavill's character, and he's kind of getting directions from Benji, which we've seen it done before. We see it again, and we see it again in Dead Reckoning. Like this is kind of what happens in leading into the third act. But Benji is really allowed to be funny here, where it's like he messes up twice and sends Ethan Hunt like across a roof, and he's like, oh sorry, like I didn't have the 3D on, or like, oh sorry, I had the iPad upside down, which like I think is good. Like I think that Benji in particular brings a very special nature to Mission Impossible as a whole, and is able to like alleviate a lot of that like stay with us kind of nature, because it does give you a breath, it gives you a moment. But yeah, I just wanted to say too, like in the very end of Fallout, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but like you get a wonderful callback to Mission Impossible 2. Like he's climbing freehand on a cliff, and you're just like, wait, I think I've seen this before, but it wasn't this good, and it was like way more camp. But like this is like pretty epic stuff, and it's still really, really cool.
Yeah, he like turns around backwards and just holds on just to watch. Like,
Unbelievable.
Mission Impossible 2, even though the nuke's about to go off.
He's like down to seconds. He's like, let me get a good view in here.
Yeah, just to flex. Let me throw my sunglasses into the camera. Yeah, I think that Mission Impossible 6 is like the least funny, and I was really happy to see 7 be more funny. But there is one more thing I want to say, and then I'm going to open up to y'all. I think we should just get into 7 soon so we can get into the meat of this. I want to keep comparing things.
Yes.
And it's okay if we still have 6 thoughts in 7. But so Carsen, Michelle Monaghan was his wife, and she got involved in Mission Impossible 3 with the villain, and he used her to like get to Ethan. So Ethan is like, okay, I can't have a wife. I don't know why I thought I could have a wife.
Mm-hmm.
And so she like goes into like the extreme version of witness protection, and he continues working. And then we see her at the end of 4, and then we don't see her at all in 5, I think, at all.
That's correct.
And then for her to show up at the end of 6 is cool, but we also get Rebecca Ferguson, the brunette lady who's a badass. Ilsa. She is introduced in 4, saving Ethan's life. She's a total badass from the jump. They have romantic tension because I think he has that with every woman on screen. It's kind of annoying. And I don't know, like this movie gave me such a warm feeling about her, and I will say that 7 did not handle it well at all. And we can get into that in a moment, but that's the last thing I wanted to say. What about y'all? Any other thoughts?
That helicopter scene was so long. That's all.
Long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, gosh, this is tough because my rankings are going to come out at the end of this, and people are going to be like, you were speaking out of your ass. But I think Fallout's a little overrated, to be quite honest. I think there's some good moments, but like I do think it really suffers in the back half and the end of it. But you know, like you get some really cool Ilsa stuff, like you said. It's a tough call.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
The world is changing. Truth is vanishing. War is coming.
It's been a long time, friend. You've no idea the power I represent. It knows your story and how it ends.
Annie, please hit me with some facts.
This movie came out July 10th, 2023. It was written by Eric Jenderson and Christopher McQuarrie. It is directed by Christopher McQuarrie. It's starring Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Haley Atwell, and Isai Morales. Here's a description from IMDb. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team must track down a dangerous weapon before it falls into the wrong hands.
It's literally the same as the last one.
It's like everyone. It has a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, now we're going to jump into spoilers for this one. They did our girl Ilsa dirty.
Yeah.
They
botched
said
it.
there's a new brunette in town. There can't be 2 women with brown hair. And they faked her death in the beginning, and then she really died. Even her and Ethan felt more distant to me than in Fallout. Like in Fallout, Rebecca Ferguson is like on the line with Ethan's former wife, and is just being like, "Ooh, I like her." Like that's how close we all are. And in this movie, they seemed like distant lovers or something. And the way it treats women as a whole, I don't love. Before he does the motorcycle jump, there's this horrible flashback where we just see like him and him and all his ladies. It's like him and Michelle Monaghan,
but not Michelle Monaghan. Like, I don't think
Oh,
she's
who
one
was
of
it?
I don't think
It
she's
was-
one of them. It's literally Elsa and Haley Atwell's character.
just the two. I thought there was a third.
And the third is the very first woman that is like the driver
Oh,
of
yes.
this movie and who dies at the hands of his IMF decision. But it's like literally his wife is not in this fucking flashback.
And I like just cracked up in the theater when that happened because I was like, this jump goes out to all my ladies. Like, it's just so weird and icky. And he chose Haley Atwell. He sort of, in my opinion, like chose Haley Atwell over Rebecca Ferguson, Grace over Ilsa, even though like he didn't really choose. He just didn't make it in time. But like the movie chose, and this like Grace was not loyal to him and was new on the block.
The way that I kind of read that is that I think that Ilsa was a little too self-reliant, and I think that the series itself calls for a damsel in distress, and that's what Grace was.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, because she's like, I can't drive a car. And Ilsa would have been like, I can drive this Fiat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really icky to me. She's like, I'm a girl. I don't know how to drive. That was so annoying. Sorry.
It does.
I will.
Her character does come across like very much as like we're putting her in place of the future. Like, oh, we might have someone joining the IMF, and we might have someone like Mission Impossible might turn to a woman, or like whatever the case is. But
When Tom Cruise is too old, you mean?
Well, gosh, I don't know, in 25 years maybe. But like, we do get this very very pace breaker like monologue from the team of like, the IMF is a decision and we choose to be here every day. And like, this is your choice, and tell Kittredge that like, I told you could be part of this, and all these things, which I actually liked quite a lot. But I do think like this whole Haley Atwell and like Rebecca Ferguson, their characters, this is like a real big Mission Impossible problem where it's like, the plot is already so bloated where they just feel like they cannot have dueling or like coinciding female storylines. And it's like, you absolutely could. Like, it's totally possible. And it just, I don't know if that's a McQuarrie problem or like, I don't know where that lies, but it seems like the movie is like, we can only get so big because 90% of the movie needs to be stunts. And like, we can't focus too much on other characters.
I don't know. Like, they added 6 speaking roles to this since Fallout. And so it is bloated, but it's like, there can be no women unless there was no women CIA agents.
Well, this is interesting because the White Widow is kind of the only example of that, right? Where like the White Widow still kind of believes that Ethan Hunt is Lark, even though she knows it's probably not true. And she is really like the anti Ilsa that like went bad. She went rogue. She stayed there. And now she does all of these kind of dirty deals, and only pops up when we need someone to buy something, or like when we need someone that's like a third party. It has to go through the White Widow, which again, I think is interesting, but part of a bigger conversation.
I like her a lot. And I also just want to shout out, obviously they did her hair, but they went for like a natural hairstyle. Carsen.
It was everybody's hair looks so bad in this whole movie.
Oh,
everyone's hair.
I like that she had semi-natural hair.
Tom Cruise's hair was on 11.
Oh my. Okay. The thing about the White Widow, I also like that character in theory, but I don't know if it was the way that she was portraying this character or just like the way, I don't know where the breakdown came from, but like she seems almost scared or like just a touch incompetent.
Yeah.
Like there were several moments where in 6 and in this one where she was like almost on the verge of tears. I'm like, sis, like elude some badassery. Like I need you to kind of sack up a little bit.
Yeah.
I did not read it that way.
Yeah.
I thought she's just acting or something.
I think that's interesting because if I'm remembering correctly, like her interaction with Ethan Hunt initially is that she believes that he is John Lark. He is the worst of the worst. Like he will kill women and children with like parasitic bombs and feel no remorse, right? And so I think
That's true.
her relationship with Hunt is already strained in that fact where, like, I think she is walking on eggshells a little bit because she knows this guy might do some crazy shit at any single moment in time. So I have to play this very on the fence. That's kind of how I understood like her actions and her relationship, especially in the second act when we get this big kind of, meeting of every single speaking part that's in the movie where it's like, this is Mission Impossible. Like everybody's here. And it's like, okay, cool. I don't know if everybody needs to be here. But I do think like that's her role in that situation, in that monologue is like, I don't want to piss off the wrong person. And if it's Lark, things could go really bad.
I think that's asking a lot of the viewer though, to like, one, remember Lark.
It's fair.
I'm like Lark, because that is not even the bad guy in the last movie. He's just like a pawn. They move around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a misnomer.
And like for them to try to like rely on us remembering that she thinks he's John Lark is a big ask.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree that like she's always trying to stay in the middle because she like also works for the IMF all the time or the CIA all the time, whatever it was, as they explain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
I was in the theater and it was so distracting. The Dutch angle was so distracting to me. It was literally like every other frame was a Dutch angle. I felt like I was going like this, like tilting my head.
So
it was so just like, I didn't understand, you guys. What is that creative direction?
So here's the thing. I will try to stand up for that because I think what Fallout does get right is kind of what I mentioned in 6, where it's very observant of its predecessors. And like that Dutch
Fallout?
angle, what Dead Reckoning gets right is that it is very observant of its predecessors. So like that Dutch angle is very Mission Impossible 1. That is Brian De Palma at its core. And I think for me, someone that just went through the franchise, when I went to go see it the first time, and I've seen it twice in the theater, the second time definitely less enjoyable than the first because a lot of the reveals and things like that, and you get a lot more nitpicky on the storyline. But when Kittredge is speaking and we have that angle, and then we get Ethan Hunt and he's speaking back, I was just like, this is like Mission Impossible core text. Like this is so cool. I don't know if the people around me think it is, and I don't even know if they care, but I know what they're trying to do here, and I know what McQuarrie's trying to do. And it felt like we pretty much got a reference to almost every single other installment in Dead Reckoning, whether that's like overt with these angles or not. So I like that it did that. And that is like, I don't know if outdated is the right word, but it is very much a time capsule of like 96 Mission Impossible that I think they thought it would be cool to bring back. And I think it worked for me.
I do like that when you say like it's referencing all the other Mission Impossibles. I much prefer an artistic reference, an artistic reference like a Dutch angle than like a Marvel, than like a Marvel like, hey, look at that guy. We know about him, and you guys know about him too. Like it's just. It's a little more gratifying.
I don't know. I think like, yeah. I don't know. At this point, I think a Dutch angle is just kind of dated filmmaking, and it read very cornball to me, which I hated because like I wanted to take this movie seriously, but watching it, it felt like this movie isn't taking itself seriously. Like it was genuinely distracting to me.
You're like watching it out of context almost. So it's like you're seeing it at face value, and you're like, this is corny.
Okay. Yes.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, I'm trying to say like face value. Like I see what you see, but it's like like in the thick of Mission Impossible, though it's somehow just like perfect.
Can I ask you real quick, Carsen? Then what did you think of the Kittredge like voiceover at the very end? Like we've done the cliff junk, we've done the train, we've done everything. We have the key, and then Kittredge kind of has this voiceover where it's like you've only bought Grace a little bit more time, and your mission is just beginning, and all of these things. Did that work for you on any level?
Okay, it didn't quite register in 7, but I did notice it in 6. Angela Bassett was talking to Ethan. And that was like, didn't quite make sense. It felt like a bookend. It felt like, okay, let's wrap this up really quickly. But I mean, I guess it makes sense for storytelling, but like you're saying, like the plot is so bloated and this is already in 2 parts. Can we take, it needed to be trimmed a lot, I think, and then to kind of tack that on at the end was cheesy, but also did we need, we had so much, we already had so much movie. I thought 4 or 5 times, oh, it's over now. It wasn't. It kept going. And then to have a monologue delivered at the end, it's like, oh my God.
See,
it was just a lot.
That's why I wanted to ask you. And Annie, I always say I'm very curious what you think as well. But we just spent 2 hours and 35 minutes getting a key. That's literally what we did for the longest installment in Mission Impossible franchise history. And then Tom Cruise jumps out of the train and he parachutes back to Benji, hands him the key. Benji's really confused. And for me, 2 things happened. I was like, oh shit, it's on. We're on now. Part 2 is going to rip because we've got the key. We got to figure out what it goes to. We got to figure out where to go. All of these things now lay in place. And I just loved that we got there. And the second thing was when Kittredge had the kind of the voiceover, I was like, oh, this is so core Mission Impossible. Kittredge to me is something really special that they brought back that worked very, very well because of his relationship to Hunt and his ability, especially in, a lot of the train scenes, to play both sides and to divide the line. And I think he has a really unique voice that is synonymous with the Mission Impossible franchise. So I was like, oh, that's so badass that they gave him a voiceover. And I think it is so, so poorly written that it's corny, that it's yes, we bought her a little bit more time. How cool. And I was so sold on it. I was just so in.
I liked how it ended in that, I was like, okay, the next one will be exciting because we have this key, but the key the key, guys, the key. It's just the most whatever MacGuffin they could ever come up with to chase. And I don't know where it is. It's going through too many hands. I'm losing track of it. Carsen, I'm actually excited for you to one day get to watch, however many of the early ones you would like to, because one, you would probably love the first one because I don't think it was ever definitely going to be a franchise at that point. So it's very different movie. It's a Brian De Palma movie. I think you would probably really like it. And then I'm excited for you to one day see 3 and 4 and 5 because it's this, but the tightest, 3 is so
tight.
So tight. And it has Philip Seymour Hoffman and
best villain in franchise history. Not even close.
Compared to this, it's just a sprint.
That's kind of that's honestly what I was kind of hoping for. I thought that we were going to get 2.5 hours of, yes, nonstop action, but I would have expected it to be a lot tighter than it was. I feel we could have cut out Shea Whitman's why was he there? He was 20 steps behind everybody. It was we at that point we were just making fun of him, and it didn't it was why are you here? What is this?
I like that there was multiple antagonistic forces. That was fun, but you saying that is literally yeah, we don't know why. He's Henry Cavill, but the most boring version because Henry Cavill was such a presence.
Henry Cavill was at least hot.
Exactly. And okay, so Mission Impossible 3 is 2 hours and 6 minutes long. So it's also literally
But here's the thing with Mission Impossible.
45 minutes shorter.
Here's the thing with Mission Impossible 3. And Carsen, I really do want you to watch this because I'm very curious what you think. It opens with Philip Seymour Hoffman saying, "We have put a bomb in your head," which is just the fucking coldest villain opening line of cinematic history. And then it goes uphill from it only gets better from there. It is.
It's also
unbelievable.
intense. It's also intense. Like it's pretty intense in terms of like,
Okay.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the key. We talked about Kittredge. Thoughts on the entity?
I'm pro, but I'm pro in theory. I'm not pro in action. I think in theory it's a great idea. Of course, like AI as a villain is intriguing and allows for a lot of pivot room. Of course, in part 2 for you can literally just mold your villain to however you want your story to play. You're not tied to a character trait necessarily. And I love the real world kind of parallels to like Tom Cruise battling AI in real life and trying to save writing jobs, and Tom Cruise battling AI in Mission Impossible and trying to save the world. Like, I think that's fun. And I really buy into that kind of stuff. And I think that's like part of the charm of Tom Cruise. But I think we were as an audience were told so many times about what the entity is and what it is doing and why it went rogue. And it was just spoon fed to us 13 times that I was just like, after the second time, I was like, I got it. It's AI. We're good. And like, it doesn't even do really anything. And I'm curious what your guys' take are on like the villain, the embodiment of the entity. Like, where is that a real guy that just is like being fed information by the entity? Like, is he tied? Is his body tied to the entity? Is like that how he defeated Ilsa? Does the entity make him smarter or stronger or faster? Like, I don't know.
You're talking about the guy from the first Mission Impossible.
Yes, that
Gabriel.
Right. And like, I think that's hella confusing, and that's like the biggest fault of this.
Okay.
And it just didn't work at all.
I interpret it as like this AI has full power and all these government forces want control of it. Tom Cruise, remember Carsen, works for no government. He's like, this should be destroyed because if anyone controls this, they're going to use it for bad.
Uh-huh.
And Gabriel is like somehow a henchman of this thing. And it does not give him any abilities. It does not. He is real. Like when Tom Cruise's glasses like fade him out, he's like, what the hell? That was the entity like hacking into his glasses.
Changing the data, right?
Yeah. Like when the entity is changing the directions that are going in Tom Cruise's ear from Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
That was cool. And it's like, it's cool, but it's also OP. It's like this entity can probably fuck with everything because all of their gadgets are electronic based.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea that everyone has to like write letters now in the CIA and just like is like copying everything with typewriters. But it's like maybe Mission Impossible is going to have to do that too. Like maybe they're going to have to go archaic on this bitch in the 7th one and just like, I don't know. That's neat.
Yeah.
The Gabriel, I feel like it's not making sense now that you pose that question though. Like
This is what I'm saying. The more that I talk about Dead Reckoning Part 2, the less I understand of how anything works. Because the first time I saw it, I was like, this movie rips. Like, this is one of the best movies of the year. I had a blast.
I never questioned him. Never,
ever. And then I was like, and another very like core question that this is built upon that Luther shares a very particular moment with Hunt about is like, he's like, Ethan, the entity is afraid of you. It knows that you want to shut it down. And it's like, why the fuck would the entity be afraid of you? It's OP. It's just gonna do what it does and beat you. Like, I get it in theory, like you're afraid of Tom Cruise, sure, but like, it just is really hard to understand.
I bought that because it's like, it's afraid of Ethan because anyone else would sell this to a government, to an organization, to someone to control it. Ethan is like the only person that will throw the ring into Mordor. Like he is the only guy that's going to do that.
I don't know, just as a whole, like as like the villain, it just kind of felt like something that I think old people are like, they have like made up in their mind of like what technology is. Yeah, it's like a boomer, like this is the future, like computers are going to ruin everyone's lives, like the entity is what's going, like this is something that boomers truly believe. That's what it
It's
felt
the
like. It's
5G of the Mission Impossible universe.
Yes, dude. That's what it felt like.
Why does Mission Impossible have such a massive villain problem? Like, why, even if you know you're going to make 2 parts to Dead Reckoning, right? And like, I can understand a concept Macquarie being like, hey, AI, very cool. We can like play with that and do things with that. And that's like exciting and fresh and very prevalent to today. But it's like, that's not a villain. That's just like an idea of a villain, right? And like the Gabriel character just is a weird holdover from that. I think that's obviously the biggest takeaway of the franchise. Like, ever since Philip Seymour Hoffman, it just hasn't worked, period, in my opinion.
I think it's cool that they brought the actor or the Gabriel character back from Mission Impossible 1. And it's cool that he got bigger as an actor. I think that's why they did it. But it's just all muddled. It's too muddy because it's too big. Because they literally had to shut down production 5 times to a movie that they were coming up with on the fly. Like, imagine picking up your movie and being like, where were we again? Oh, okay, let's just pick it up where we left off. And the movie kind of feels that way. At the same time, I say all of this, it's still a very fully functioning Mission Impossible movie, which means it's still better than most movies I've seen this year. Yeah. Like, despite all of these things, the car chase and the train sequence are 2 big set pieces we haven't touched on yet. I thought they were both a blast, and I love the train sequence. That's probably my favorite in the movie.
Dude, the car chase stressed me out. And mostly because,
because you are a former Fiat driver?
Well, okay, mostly like whenever I see things like that, and this might just be my brain, I don't know, but I just think about like, she really just rammed her truck through the Spanish Steps. Like,
dude,
like you can't remake that shit. What do y'all like? Let's have some reverence. I don't know.
I really liked how in that Fiat chase, I do think it works. Like, overall, I think it's pretty fun, but I think very like minute, like this was made for me kind of moment is when they're in the chase and Tom Cruise is like backing up, or I think he's like coming around a corner and he ends up running into a bunch of scooters, and basically like under his breath, he's like, scooters. And I was just like, that's just fucking Tom Cruise. It's just like, damn, didn't mean to run into those. And like, he just keeps driving. And I just like thought that was a really wonderful moment where you kind of like you kind of peer into like the Tom Cruise-ness of Mission Impossible, where it's just like, he's kind of just like living this. And this is like what he does. And I do think it's pretty fun overall. I like the handcuffed nature is really exhilarating, knowing like they're pretty much stuck how they are.
Yes. Like, the moment where they are like they're rolling and they switch places inside the car was so fucking cool. And like, they shot that, like, people were in the car rolling around, like,
so nuts.
The fact that they do so much practical stuff is golden. And that's like, it just feels better than anything else. It's commendable. Mm-hmm. The train sequence. Now, there's a moment in the train sequence where Tom Cruise and Gabriel are fighting on top, and Gabriel's like, oh shit, a tunnel. So he drops on his tummy, and then Tom Cruise is like back to the tunnel, and he's like, oh yeah, tunnel. And he makes it, he drops down. And then Gabriel pulls out a knife, and then he like crawls up and he's like slashing at Tom Cruise. The exact same thing happened in Indiana Jones. The exact same thing happened.
Yeah.
But with Indy and
a de-aged Indy, though. This is true Indy. Life Tom Cruise.
And what's that guy's name? The German guy?
I think Toby Jones was part of that chase, but I don't know if Mads Mikkelsen was like introduced in that moment or not yet.
Oh, I thought he was the knife guy. He was the knife guy.
Oh yeah, he was.
Remember he got fucking slammed by that.
Yeah, he gets railed off that train. Okay, yeah, I totally remember that.
Fully railed. There's actually a few moments in that movie where someone gets railed and it made me laugh. Okay, anyways, so identical to this other movie, very strange. But I just when the train is falling and they have to just like one after the other after the other after the other. It's like never ending train carts. It's very Uncharted too. I love that. And they get in one cart and it's like spilling oil all over the place and now it's going to light on fire. Like that stuff just makes me happy.
That was really fun. I had a good time in the train, however, it felt like it took us so long to get there. Like by the time we were in the train, I was like, when is this movie over? And I hate feeling like that. Like I legitimately hate feeling like that because I was having a good time, but it's like, guys, like how long is this movie? Like why did it take him like literally 30 minutes to get on the train, to get from their conversation underground onto the train? Like that was, and maybe it's what you're saying, Annie, like how they were just kind of going on the fly of like they had these major plot points that they wanted to hit, but like how to get from plot point to plot point, it just like it was very elongated. It took a long time to get there.
Well, they shot the first scene they shot was the motorcycle jump.
Sick.
That's sick.
So because they literally said, if this does not work, we're gonna rewrite the whole script. Like we're just gonna.
That's so fucked up. That's in like the best and the worst ways possible. Oh my god.
But if you think about it, that's what was in between underground and train.
Yeah.
It's like we should have been on the train. Yeah, but you know what? They filmed this crazy stunt, which was amazing, but it probably had too much lead pacing wise.
This is the thing, and I was gonna say this. Here's like the really hot take. That jump is like the set piece that works the least for me because I've seen it 1,000 times in promos and in trailers and in YouTube commercials and in Spotify commercials. Like
it's on the poster.
I've seen it. It's everywhere. I lived it. It's great. It's really fun. And the first time I saw it on an IMAX screen, I was like, that's cool. And then after that, I was like, man, we got to do this again. That's a bummer. Like, and I know this would never, ever happen in a million years, but it's like, just black out all of the set pieces for Mission Impossible. Give me a trailer, give me 2 trailers, do your normal lead up, whatever you're going to do marketing wise, but don't drop the third act set piece that is the coolest stunt possible. Because if I were to sit in an IMAX theater and see that for the first time on the preview night with everybody that wants to be there on preview night, and I see him jump off a fucking cliff on a motorcycle for the very first time, I would go breathless. I would lose my mind. And I was just kind of numb to it, unfortunately.
And there was so much lead of Simon Pegg and him back and forth. Where are we going? We're going up. Why are we going up? Where are we? And it's like, we know where we're going. Like this. There should have at least been a callback, Ethan, where he was like, oh shit, I was on 2D. There's a mountain. I don't know why they didn't even do that joke.
That would have been great too. And like, I do, respect for them being a little meta with like the AI where Simon Pegg's character is like, oh, let me have a computer drive my car for me while I figure out this route for Ethan Hunt, which is just like, isn't that literally what we're fighting against right now? Like,
true.
AI,
that thing could have stopped them at any moment. That stunt, I agree, hot take, it was underwhelming. Traditionally, Mission Impossible shows like the first set piece.
Yeah.
The first set piece. Like in Rogue Nation, it's Tom Cruise like hanging off a plane, which is fucking crazy, but that was the opening of the movie.
Like the first
so at that
2
point,
minutes.
You're like, where are we going from here?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I totally agree. It was totally ruined by the marketing of the movie.
Guys, Tom Cruise is showing some age. He looked kind of tired.
Wow. Carsen, I can only keep retorting you for so long. I mean, you're breaking me down here. You're taking me down. I thought he looked great. I thought he looked very young, very spry. He could do this.
He's 61.
He could do this as long as he wants. It's his franchise.
I don't know, man. Like TC, it's okay, buddy. Take a load off.
I think he like looks older, but I don't think he looks bad.
No, not bad. I'm just saying, he just looked a little tired, I think.
Yeah.
He's getting that old man puff. Like, he can't help the puff.
I'm curious where the franchise does go after part 2. Obviously, I'm really intrigued on what we do with Grace's character, and now that she's an official part of the IMF, is that where we're leading into a soft reboot in 5 years or a hard reboot in 10 years? Like, what are we doing with that? I think is interesting. I did just want to say, like, the budget for this movie was $300 million, which is wrong on so many accounts. Like, that is just so insane. It has only made $260 million worldwide. And at the time of recording, Barbie is coming out tomorrow. Oppenheimer is coming out tomorrow. Oppenheimer is stealing all of the IMAX screens in the country. Barbie will be stealing $100 million in opening weekend dollars. And that looks like the slow of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is going to happen very, very quickly. It might not perform very well financially. It hasn't even crossed $100 million domestically. So
maybe 7 is or 8 is the last one. Like, maybe. They don't want to for a long time. I'm sure they'll dig it up eventually.
We just came off of a 5-year break. We went through COVID where you couldn't experience things like this, and we haven't had a new Mission Impossible in 5 years. You would think people would be jazzed to come see Tom Cruise, the savior of cinema, in another MI movie, but I don't know. I saw it twice. I put in my money. Okay,
you gave it your all. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it's like it's a smaller demographic. I think a lot of people that would like it don't know about it. Because we were young when it came out.
Yeah, fair.
What were you going to say?
Yeah. No, that's what I like. The demographic to me is people who stream things, not people who go to a theater. That's like the demographic for me. But I don't know, at the beginning, Tom Cruise and the director, they did an intro in my screening. I don't know if they did for yours. Yeah. Where they said, we make these movies for the theater, which they do. Respect, that's cool. But can we normalize not giving people $300 million? Like, what the fuck?
Please.
Where did that money go?
Here's the one thing I want to say about that. The creator, the new Gareth Edwards movie that is an original sci-fi flick coming out in a few months, only $80 million to make. That thing will clean up at the box office. It looks so fucking good. And it costs less than a third of the budget of Mission Impossible. I'm with you, Carsen. We've agreed, and we're like 98 or 100 minutes into this pod, and we did it. We're best friends.
And we finally.
With that, I think we should score and rank our Mission Impossibles now that we've got y'all to agree.
It only took talking about another movie to make it happen.
The greed of Hollywood.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll start. I will give MI Fallout a 9 out of 10. It was 5 stars on my Letterboxd the year it came out.
Wow.
I will give 7 a... God, it's still fucking fun movie though, you guys.
It's still really good.
Give it like an 8. Like I can't. It's an 8. It's an 8 out of 10.
It's good.
Ethan,
is it my turn to score? Okay. Mission Impossible Fallout. I have it at 4 stars on my Letterboxd, which is low compared to the people that I have seen. I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10 for Fallout. And then Dead Reckoning Part 1, unfortunately, I'd have to give it a 7. It was still very fun. It is still a great Mission Impossible movie. And that's saying a lot. But kind of like we've said, it just, unfortunately, it's one of those movies, the more you unpack, the less you start to like it. And I don't think that's a very good place for a movie to be.
Totally. All right, Carsen, give us your all.
Yeah, fully acknowledging that these movies were not made for me. I am not the target audience. I know that. We know that. It was very much giving cornball. They were both far too long. The damsel in distress shit kind of really lost me in both movies. And I mean, like, the Dutch angle literally was so distracting, you guys. I'm serious. Like, I just kept turning to my boyfriend and being like, is it driving you crazy? Like, am I crazy?
I like hardly noticed, except at the beginning. I was like, oh, a lot of Dutch angles. And then I just like slipped into that mode. I like shifted into Dutch angle mode.
It's that Mission Impossible elixir, man.
Yeah,
dude, I'm so jealous that you slipped into a mode because I was hyper aware of it the entire time.
That shot, like every
time it cuts.
Yeah.
The suspense is killing me, Carsen. This is wild.
Well, let's get it.
With all of that being said, I don't know. It's not like they're bad movies or anything. Middle of the road, 5 out of 10 for both of them.
Wow.
Did you feel equal about them both, or could you say one is better than the other in your mind?
No, I didn't really care for either.
Oh my God. My heart stopped for a brief moment there. Holy cow.
I'm doing...
But I am really glad, though, that I watched them, just because there's a lot of franchises and there's a lot of action movies. There's a lot of just movies that I would never watch if it weren't for us watching on the podcast. And I appreciate that. I like expanding my horizons in that way.
And I appreciate you joining us for this, even though this is the opposite of what your cup of tea is. Okay, Movie Maven score. These are some fucked up numbers. Mission Impossible 6 is 7.33 repeating. And this is kind of fun. Mission Impossible 7 is 6.66666 repeating. So
wow, number of the beast. Wow.
Number of the beast.
Smart.
Anything else you guys want to say? Otherwise, we can wrap this baby up.
Thank you so much for coming on, Ethan.
Yeah.
Oh my
a lot of
gosh.
fun.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry if I feel like I could just keep talking for another 2 hours about Mission Impossible. I will say I have a list on Letterboxd that is my ranking of all my Mission Impossible films.
We have to do a ranking.
So you can find me on Letterboxd at Ethan Simmie. Do you mind if I go first for my rankings real fast?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, great. I have Mission Impossible Rogue Nation as number 1. And it is heads and shoulders above the rest. It is not even close. It's definitely the best.
Is that number 3?
5.
Number 5.
Which is the first Christopher McQuarrie joint.
Yeah. And it just absolutely rips. Benji has a bomb on his chest in the end. It gets pretty wild. Mission Impossible Fallout, number 2. Mission Impossible 3, number 3. Which pretty hot take of the
People
MI franchise.
Started hating 3 this year. I don't know what the fuck happened.
People need to relax and understand greatness when it appears. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, number 4. Straight middle of the road. So there you go, Carsen. Ghost Protocol is number 5. The first Mission Impossible is number 6. And MI2 is number 7, of course.
Okay, so you have 5, 6, 3, 7, 4, 1, 2, right?
That is correct. But 1 through 5, I guess 2 through 5, you're talking about some pretty slim margins, to be honest.
That's the thing is all of these are good except for 2 is obviously the biggest difference. But did you know 2 was the highest grossing film the year it came out?
What is going on with what is going on?
Okay, my ranking is this is tough. Ghost Protocol 4, then.
That's a badass name for a movie,
Sick
by the way.
name.
That movie is directed by Brad Bird, who did The Incredibles. Is his first live action film.
Mm-hmm.
And
he directs Ghost Protocol, and then he goes on to direct Tomorrowland, which is just a massive Disney IP flop, FYI.
And then he went on to, I don't know what.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Incredibles 2, I guess. Okay, 4 Ghost Protocol. Oh my God. I'm kind of making this up on the fly.
True Mission Impossible style. Mad respect.
Yeah, this is really tough. Then I'm going to go for 3. I'm just going to go for it. Woo! Then 6, then 5, then 1, then 2. Oh no, I forgot about 7. 6, then 5, then 1, then 7, then 2.
Wow.
7 maybe over 1, but there's it's just something different about it. It's kind of a different movie.
It's wild.
But honestly, Kittrich's performance is so iconic in that movie.
So good.
He was giving 11 out of 10. They definitely directed him down in this movie.
Apparently, Kittredge wrote his own dialogue for every single line in Dead Reckoning. That's word on the street.
He's not only is he making
What
it up,
is
he's
this-
just improvising on the spot because there's no.
What is
script.
this filmmaking?
How do we
Seriously,
make these
what's going
movies?
on over there?
They're just strap a parachute to Tom Cruise and see what happens.
Here's $300 million. Good luck,
Make
guys.
something cool.
See you in 5 years. God. Okay. Well, that's our show. Ethan, thanks so much again. This is fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was a blast.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ethan Simmie or Letterboxd. I am at Ethan Simmie as well. And then my podcast, 24 Minutes of A24. You can find us on Spotify or Apple and YouTube as well. We come out with new shows every week talking about the latest A24 stuff. And it's a really, really fun time.
Sick. It's a great podcast.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our show. You can find us on Instagram at Movie Mavens. Find us on Twitter at Movie Mavens Pod. Find us on Threads. That's right, people. We're on Threads at Movie Mavens. Movie Mavens out.